Welcome back. If you clicked on this video, I know exactly what you're thinking. He's either cracked or this is just another clickbait farming simulator. The truth is, both conclusions are valid. I'm fine with either. In Roblox Rivals, the meta is simple. You aim train, you buy the best weapons, you practice your movement to the point where your fingers are probably eligible for slavery. You rely on your eyes. You rely on sight to see the opponent. And honestly, that is just fine. It works. It's what 99% of the people do. It takes great talent to conceal one's talent and skills, so I'm sure it's a smart move for them. For everyone. I, however, decided that using your eyes in a first-person shooter is what noobs do, bro. Like, what a loser. Who even uses their eyes? I know it's effective, but where's the challenge? Where's the flex? I'm talking about winning a match against actual players, completely blindfolded. I want to reach a level where even the most dedicated exploiters, the guys running ESP to see through walls, can't beat me. If I can master the game when I can't see, then when I open my eyes, I'm basically going to be a god playing in the fourth dimension. It's just math, guys. I made it up last minute. This is a lesson in adaptability, but more importantly, a lesson in consequence. The stakes are simple, so pay attention. If I fail this blindfolded challenge, I will give away one skin case to one of you. If I win, you all have to subscribe, and you have to do it right now before I can even prove myself. It's called long-term investment. Plus, non-subscribers don't get any skin cases. So let's start with the basics. I put on a blindfold. I've got my headphones. I told my teammates I was just testing ping. Yeah, guys, don't tell them. This is the match where I'm going to prove that sound is the only thing that matters. And immediately I realized something, that I was completely screwed. I believe in hard work and letting other people make the initial mistakes so I can learn from them. Unfortunately, in this match, I am the initial mistake. I am the screwed being. This first attempt was a dumpster fire. I was shooting the blue sky and shooting at the ground. I did 0 damage. I got clapped faster than you can say pay to win. The problem wasn't my ambition, it was the noise. It was too much. How can a genius get folded this fast? Easy. I hadn't built a system yet. I hadn't created my own reality. Time to awaken my hyperplasticity. Now, let me not get too into this mode, so stick with me, guys. The human ear is truly a marvel of engineering. We can hear frequencies ranging from 20 Hz all the way up to 20,000 Hz, but here's the problem. Roblox Rivals is a video game, not a quiet library. The computer is throwing an entire soundscape at you. Reloads, footsteps, chat, ambient noises, the stupid flare, and the sound of my own failures. I couldn't tell where the enemies were, I had no knowledge on footstep sounds, and I certainly wasn't isolating frequencies. The logical response is to use your eyes. The nerd response is to conclude that human biology is simply inefficient for this task. If you use your eyes, you're a loser. We need to understand how the computer sees sound. Proximity in a game is just geometry. So after a bit of research, figured out the volume of a footstep in your headphone is an inverse function of the distance. Now what is this monstrosity? You see, V and D are just variables, bro. This specific relationship is known as the inverse square law, where a quantity is inversely proportional to the square of the distance from the source. As the value of D increases, the value of V decreases. The decrease is a very rapid based on the square of the increased D. For instance, if D is double, it goes from 1 to 2, D square quadruples and goes from 1 to 4, and V becomes 1/4 of its original value. Now how is this monstrosity useful for Roblox Rival, the most serious game on Roblox? You see, the computer uses a formula to decide how loud a footstep should be, but your headphones, the ones you spent your entire allowance on, are mixing all these sounds together. We'll get back to this equation in a bit. I have calculated everything, so let's focus on our weapon. My mistake was using a weapon that requires visual confirmation like the AR. That's why I was shooting at the blue sky. Yeah, just a chill guy, you know. If the primary sensory input sight is removed, you must select tools that do not require it. We'll get back on that weapon in a bit. So now about the equation. As you may know, this is to calculate proximity. Therefore, the only logical adaptation is to manipulate my computer's frequencies to isolate the enemy footsteps. I got this third-party application that nobody should use, and it's completely safe totally. I calculated the average footstep frequencies in top FPS titles. They usually peak around 800 Hz to 1.36 kHz. To distinguish them from low basses, explosions, and high treble reloads, I've set up this custom decibel curve. I know this makes zero sense because you're a Rivals player. Of course you're uneducated, but still, you're Kaiser first subscriber. I mean Kaiser Everhard adaptation subscriber. You have to be genius, bro. Basically, I boosted the 805 Hz and the 1.36 kHz by +8 and +6 respectively. This makes every enemy footstep sound like a siren while suppressing the irrelevant environmental chaos. This is what I call controlled dominance or cheating. The contradictory reasoning leads to one conclusion. To adapt, I must also use explosive weapons that hit an area like the RPG, because those don't require a direct line of sight, and I must use this manipulated frequency system that I've created on my Windows. This isn't about being gifted, guys. I'm just an average guy thinking it through. It's time to see if the neurons are paying attention. You saw that, right? I secured 1 kill out of 3 rounds. That's a 100% improvement from my 0 kills out of 3 rounds. Just like last round. This experiment is proceeding as designed. No cap. But let's be real, besides that 1W, I was basically the server's sacrificial lamb. I was so mad, but hey, at least the server didn't restart. My mistakes were purely foundational. We need to patch the bugs in my current system. First of all, sky shooting. I was constantly flicking up and shooting the blue sky. That's a professional term. My aim commitment was excellent, but my spatial awareness was off by one entire dimension. Wall kissing. My technical gameplay was so shaky, I was literally kissing the walls. We call that unintended feature exploration. Or maybe just flirting with the walls. Map fail. I kept flying off the map edges. That's just a server-side termination of an idiot, bro. So overall, a solid Tuesday. This requires immediate patching. I considered several initial solutions, but with all due respect, they are too much dramatic. For the vertical aim issue, I thought about getting one of those childish places, but that's just tryharding. We're not a tryhard, guys. Plus, I'm broke. Only thing in my wallet is a cockroach, and it's dead. For the constant wall kissing, I considered hiring a private pro Rivals tutor to walk me through the map step by step while I was blindfolded, but then I realized I would have to talk to someone and pay them. No, we avoid social interaction. It's the ultimate sin as a Roblox player. Since the easy, normal solutions are pay to win, I'm a quintessential average guy after all. As such, we must resort to the simplest, most complex logic possible. This is where I try a little. The problem is the mouse. The solution is simple. Reduce my mouse's vertical sensitivity by 70%. This is called the mouse vertical restriction protocol, and MVRP. It forces my hand to only move slightly up and down, ensuring that any flick is horizontal and on a known plane. It restricts my movement, which paradoxically improves my precision. This isn't being an idiot, guys. It's a self-imposed debuff that turns into a secret buff. Source, trust me, bro. Okay, system, it's time. System, play the theme song for Aura Boost. Not that theme song, bro. The biggest issue is turning sound into a visual. In a video game, the map is fixed geometry. It's a closed system. I can't see the world. I can't see the code. The solution is not visualization, it's the temporal lobe spatial mapping initiative. I totally didn't just make that up to sound cool. Here, I'm forcing my brain to process sound as spatial memory and visualize it while my eyes are closed from start to finish. I go over simple basic geometry, how a game map is just a blueprint of cubes and vectors. I close my eyes and constantly visualize where I'm at, making predictions using tactical empathy, predicting the enemy's position based on the shortest route to my sound signature, blah blah blah. I'm a fucking nerd. Now, I need an opening advantage. I went to the practice arena and focused on weapons that require area control, not precision. The RPG is perfect. I discovered a simple tech, shoot the RPG behind me and use a blast. The blast force combined with the fist punch to fly across the map. We're naming this method the back shot maneuver. Very legit name, guys. Very. The entire strategy is a variation of the blitzkrieg strategy. I plan to win or at least establish auditory dominance within the first 5 seconds of the match. No slow walking anymore, chat. Finally, for the test, I will only play on the map called Arena. It has invisible walls, so you know. This is now officially my official aura farming standard. This ensures I cannot fly off the map like a confused pigeon, and that my focus is entirely on mastering one map's fixed dynamics. No need to adapt to 20. That's for the sequels. 600 likes and I'll make part 2. Totally 600. Now that I've adapted to my mistakes and incorporated monk-like visualization without going bald, I will now show you my next reawakening. Let's see if I can play it 3 times better. Hedging our best, you're all we get. Made it all this way, 'cause you couldn't stay happy with the way we're going on. Hey, you have got to say we're in the wrong. There's one thing that we cannot stand is a boasting arrogant girl. Worthless jealousy, you'll never be going back to your broken world. And just if you can, we need to guard against the human coming out alive. It's just a deadly fantasy. And just if you can, you'll be gone in a single moment. Hope you say goodbye before you know. Just one thing that we cannot stand is the arrogant girl. Worthless jealousy, you will never be going back to your broken world. And just if you can, we need to guard against the human coming out alive. It's just a deadly fantasy. And just if you can, you'll be gone in a single moment. Hope you say goodbye before you go. It should be a crime, wasting our time, waiting for the planets to align. Yeah. Our best, you're all we get. You made it on the way. You couldn't stay happy with the way we're going on. Hey, you have got to say we're in the wrong. Okay, so after implementing the backshot maneuver and the mouse restrictions, things actually got kind of easy. Like I won a few times completely blindfolded, it was fine. And then I stopped. Because as a great philosopher once probably said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own souls. The truth is, fine is just corporate speak for slightly above average, not the best. And that great philosopher is just me. I made that up 5 minutes ago. I was still missing shots. I was still making mistakes. I got clapped by a guy using the default loadout. That's just a massive humiliation if we ignore that I was blind. My visualization skills were giving me predictions, not consistency. If you're aiming for a 100% success rate, predictions are basically just thoughts and prayers. So let's look at the actual physics problem. What are frequencies? They're just numbers of sound waves hitting your ear per second, and proximity, that's just how loud those frequencies are based on distance. In a video game, these are fixed values. But here is the contradiction. My human brain, even with all my little mind trick, is still a very slow and organic processor. I can hear the enemy, sure, but I cannot read the exact decibel drop from 4.3 meters away, and then use that to plot the trajectory. I'm a human, not an AI, so how can I read it? No monkey, we are not having any reawakenings. I'm not Isagi or Maharaga that will change my body to adapt. In simple truth, you can't. So I outsourced the job. I wrote a simple Python file. I call it the in-game Auditory Perception Assistant, or AE. What AE does is simple. It listens to my computer's auditory feed, it analyzes all of the frequencies, isolates the one that matches the footsteps, and uses a spatial audio recognition algorithm to determine where those frequencies are the loudest. Gosh, I probably sounded like a nerd. Such a loser. It then projects a simple arrow onto my second monitor pointing directly at the loudest audio source in 3D space. This creates an actual real-time 3D space representation, or what we call in industry the only thing that actually works. Instead of my neurons doing guesswork, the Python script is doing the real-time vector calculation required for 100% precision. Yes, I have to take my blindfold off for now, but I will keep it fair. I've turned off my main gaming monitor. I'm playing the game on a blank screen with my focus entirely on the AE arrow on my second monitor. Before the comment section tries to report me to the Roblox police, let me clarify. This isn't cheating. Cheating is injecting an executor and running scripts inside the game to mess with the server. AE is running outside the game, looking at my personal computer's audio output. It's not reading the game memory, it's reading the sound data of my PC. It's not an illegal cheat, guys. It's a legal advantage I made. It's just very expensive, very complicated, very not human way of playing. So basically it is not Roblox cheats, it is personal cheats. And I always play unfairly. Anyways, it's just an average guy's coding side project, so don't focus that much. Now, this system is a 100% data driven. Visualization plus prediction with consistency. Let's see how far I can get. I'm fighting the strongest player I can find, completely blank. If I lose this final match, the skin case is yours. But if I win, and trust me, the numbers say I will, you all have to subscribe. I won. Which means the contract is simple. You lost the bet, so your mandatory action item is simple. You have to subscribe. I accept the payment in clicks, always. Look, the whole point was to get aura. Yes, I know. But here's the thing, even with perfect audio, a lot of you are still miss simple shots and shoot the sky. That's a skill issue. The solution is already installed for you. Click on the video on screen. It's the only way to download the patch for your aim fundamentals. If you skip it, you're officially choosing to fail. Finally, for the 3 of you who actually want to use the software I use, I know you want the A code. I was fully prepared to keep this proprietary, but fine. If this video gets 1200 likes, which is corporate speak for I need enough social currency to justify this massive jobless life I lead, I will clean up the script and release the entire in-game Auditory Perception Assistant or AE to the public. You can all start playing Blindfolded too. Until then, I'll be following my curriculum. See you on the next one.